Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of Try New Things, where today I'm doing my wife another favor. So you may be like us or know someone like us who has a cat that loves to chew on plants. Whether they're fake or real, they can't resist chewing on plants. Now, we just got a new cat this year named Mabel, and Mabel has proven to be a kitty cat that likes to gnaw on plants, and plastic plants in particular. Now, we're coming up on Christmas season, and my wife doesn't want to go through Christmas without a tree, so she has asked me to build her a 6-foot tall wooden Christmas tree that we can hang lights and bulbs and put gifts under and around. So that's the task I'm trying to do today, is figure out how are we going to make a 6-foot wooden Christmas tree that hopefully Mabel won't chew the heck out of. She'll probably just play with the ornaments when we get them on. But anyway, we'll start with a tree. Let me show you what I'm doing. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I got this big pile of old tobacco sticks for free a number of months back. So this is what I'm going to try to make that wooden Christmas tree out of. The first step is to wash the tobacco sticks because they're very, very muddy. So I got a head start and got some of those done. Probably not enough, but they'll go further once I get further up the tree. So here on the garage floor, you probably won't see it, but it's drawn in pencil, is the outline of a 6-foot Christmas tree. And what we're doing is we're cutting these tobacco sticks progressively shorter as we go up, and we're going to use a 3/8 rod that goes down the middle to be the spine of the tree. And then once it's time to put up your tree, you flail out these tobacco sticks, at least in theory, and it should look like a tree. So I'm going to cut a bunch more sticks and then we'll check back in with you. So last weekend I got as far as those yellow tags are, so 19 branches for the tree. But this morning I've got the rest of the branches cut. So the next thing we need to do is drill a hole in every one of those sticks to insert a 3/8 rod. And then we got to build a base for the tree and a little bit of a stump for a tree and hopefully a star for the tree. So I'm hoping I figured out what I'm going to use for the base of the stick Christmas tree. I had this piece of old cedar in the barn for a couple years, drying out. I just cut it a little bit shorter, somewhere around 8 inches thick for now. But I've got to get this cleaned up and see if this is going to work or not. Well, I'm really hoping that this is going to be big enough to work, but there's a cleaned up cedar. I'm going to go ahead and put a 3/8 hole right in the center at the top and hope that this holds up our Christmas tree. Quick update, little bit of a setback on our Christmas tree build, unfortunately. The other day on the weekend, I started stacking the tree, the tobacco sticks on the tree. And when I got to about 4.5 feet, we started to get a lean, and then every time I would touch it, it would sway back and forth. This here, I don't know if you'll be able to focus on it, but anyway, this is the 3/8 rod we were using, and it's just too flexible and too wobbly. I think it'd be just fine for maybe a 3-foot tree, maybe even as much as a 4-foot tree, but we're going to 6 feet, and we don't want a wobbly Christmas tree. So today we're going to try something different, but what we ended up getting, my wife got me this. This is a 1/2-inch rebar. So this is what we're proposing to use as the new spine for the Christmas tree. So here's a quick comparison of the two. We've got our 3/8 threaded rod that we were using and our 1/2-inch rebar that we're going to try. And you can tell right off that this is a lot less flexible, this one, than the 3/8 rod was. But it's going to introduce some new challenges to overcome. So what is that challenge? Well, I'm glad you asked. Not all of these tobacco sticks are the same thickness. They're very random. Some of them are quite wide, and some are quite thin. So let me grab one where I already have a hole in it. So here's a nice thick one. And there you can see the 3/8 hole. Now if we ream that out to a 1/2 inch, it should be just fine. Should still be wood on both sides. But if I take a thinner one, there's the 3/8 hole. If we go to 1/2 inch, what are we going to have left? So I fully expect I'm going to have to replace some of these branches. I'll have to go back in my pile, find some wider ones, and replace them. So we're kind of starting over again. Now to make things slightly worse, again, 1/2 inch rebar. I drilled a test 1/2 inch hole and it does not fit, probably because of all the ridges on the rebar. So we're going to have to drill an even bigger hole than a 1/2 inch hole, which means I've got to go 9/16 now. Okay, there's our 1/2 inch hole and our 9/16 hole. Let's try out the 9/16, and it fits. So I've got to make 9/16 holes in all those tobacco sticks, and the one's not wide enough to take a 9/16 hole. I'm going to have to do new ones. Well, my star efforts are going swimmingly. Well, as you can see, my efforts to make a star, broken tip, broken base, not going so well. So rather than old barn board, what I've done is I've cut up a couple of my bourbon barrel staves out of oak. What I'm going to do is glue this up into a panel, and hopefully this oak will hold up a little bit better to making a star. So the glue is dried, and I've sanded up my oak panel that I made out of the bourbon barrel staves. Now it's time to draw on a star, head over the bandsaw, cut it out, and try it out. Hopefully this one doesn't break. Well, friends, that's going to bring another episode of Try New Things to a close, where we tried to make my wife happy by making her a non-traditional wooden Christmas tree out of tobacco sticks. Now, you could use any scrap wood to make your own if you don't have access to tobacco sticks, but I think she's happy because she asked for a second smaller tree. But if you have any questions or comments about this video or any of my videos, leave them below. Do me a huge favor, hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye-bye.